It happens so damn fast. Can you bring it to me? What's going on, everybody? What is going on? Hope you guys are doing great. We got a special guest that we getting ready to join. Is getting ready to join us in a few seconds. Hope you guys are ready because this is going to be fire tonight. So you guys better be ready. I'm telling you, you better be ready. So before we get into it, I want you guys to remember one thing. I will always love you, and the world will always need you. So without further ado, I'm going to bring a gentleman in who really needs no introduction. And first of all, I want to thank this gentleman for coming in. His name is Mr. Mark A. Walker, world-renowned bassist. Played with a slur of people: Yolanda Adams, William Beckton, Layla Hathaway, Spur of the Moment, and he is playing currently with my vocal influencer, Mr. Will Downing. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you, introduce to others, Mr. Mark Walker. Mark A. Walker, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing fine, Jay. Thank you for having me, Mr. Hunter.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, sir. Now, did I miss out anything in that great introduction I just gave for you?
Man, I'm just glad to be here. I've been blessed to play with a lot of people. I think I told you off script that two of my favorites, I'm really playing with them, Will Downing and, of course, Richard Smallwood and Vision. Those two are probably, along with Spur of the Moment, of course. Spur of the Moment, that was my brother. So it's been good. I'm playing with people that I love,
Right.
And I think that's the good thing for me, because I know it's nothing like, people have jobs that they don't like, or they have a job they like, but they working with people they don't like. I don't have that problem.
Right.
So yeah, it's been a blessing, man. I'm just grateful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
It's amazing. It's amazing that you mentioned people who have jobs that they don't like. Did you know that there was a study that went out some years ago. I think I don't quote me on it, but either it's Gallup or MIT did this study. 87% of the working class hate their job.
Mm. Whew. That's a high number.
87,
That's a very high
high
number.
number.
Woo.
And see, the thing is, people might like what they do, but it's the people that they work with that makes them to not like their jobs much. So you got people who are waiting for that time to clock in. If they get off at 4 o'clock, at 3:59, they ready. Their fingers ready to hit that button.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So Mark, as I mentioned to you, as we spoke about a week ago, we spoke on a mutual friend and the brother to you, Titus, brother Titus, and I had mentioned that he had introduced me to you. He by giving me your CD, he said, "Hey man, you got to hear this guy. Will Downing loved this guy." And ever since this is early 2000, man, like
Mm.
probably 2001, 2002, somewhere in
Yeah.
that area. And I listened to it, man, and I started playing it in my car. It was like going to work, going home. I was playing your music, and so do me a favor, Mark. Take us back to the beginning, man. How did we get to meet Mark A. Walker today? I mean, the incredible career that you've had, phenomenal people you've done project with. Where did you start? How did it all? Can you walk us through to the beginning?
Ooh, okay. I'll do a quick version of it. Hopefully, you can keep up with this.
All right.
Born in Arlington, Virginia, right across the bridge. Um, moved to Pennsylvania when I was about 10 years old. Um, learned how to play the bass guitar really there in Pennsylvania. I had a love for it here in DC, um, but I didn't have a guitar, and I had family members who played instruments, but go over from friend's house or go to school and there's an instrument, I would pick it up, like most kids, and try to pick it up, minute here, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You learn something from someone, and you're kids, you're a sponge, so you soaking up everything. You learn the two or three
Right.
notes or whatever. But it wasn't until I got to Pennsylvania and I met a gentleman, Leonard Rankins. We call him Fuzzy. That was his nickname.
All right.
Guitar player. Uh, he taught me the old quartet gospel style music, so I kind of learned from that. We had a teenage, young teenage quartet gospel group there for about 7 years. It lasted about 6 or 7 years, and I learned by ear. So I mean, I knew my notes and
Wow.
everything, but I learned by ear. So I listened to a lot of records.
Hmm.
A lot of time sitting at home. Not like today. We didn't have video games back then. Really telling on
Right.
myself now. No video games. So you spend a lot of time. The time that people played video games, that was me playing the guitar, bass guitar, just picking up every time a new song come on the radio or somebody bring a record in the house that I enjoyed. I would learn a record. So, um, and then just always imagine, one day I'll hopefully get a chance to play songs like this with people who are on this level.
Hmm.
Uh, nothing in particular, but that was my motivation, and keep going. And I just love music, period.
Right.
And played a lot of church services. Got invited to play midnight musicals. Got invited to play with people's groups, and then you get that call one day. I'm working with. I'm up. I didn't go to Howard University, but I would hang out at Howard at night with some of the musicians that would be up there. So I met a gentleman named Chris Dave, a drummer from Mint
Okay.
Condition. Actually, people know him from Mint Condition, and
Wow.
he introduced me to Raymond Angry, a few other musicians. But he's from Houston, Texas, so Yolanda Adams knew him. Matter of fact, she told me
Mm.
she knew Chris when he was almost like a baby. So I
Wow.
met her, uh, did some concerts with her, worked with her for quite a few years. Got a call. My godbrother that moved out to California. He
Hmm.
was actually playing keyboards. Tim Carmen. He was actually playing with Stevie Wonder. Um,
Wow.
and then he started playing with Gerald Albright and Layla
Wow.
Hathaway. Gerald Albright and Layla Hathaway had the same management. So how they
Hmm.
did things back then, a lot of times they would put the artists together on the same show. So Gerald and Layla would do shows together. So
Okay.
Gerald needed a bass player for uh, a string of shows, and I happened to be out there. I was cutting a demo at Air LA Studios, and
Wow.
Gerald's manager came out. He heard me play. He heard the demo that I was doing. He said, "Yeah, he's solid. I think he can do it." So Gerald came in
Wow.
and just heard me play a few stuff. He said, "Oh yeah, I think he can do this." So I did. Actually, my first performance with Gerald and Layla was on Arsenio Hall show. So yeah,
Wow.
that's on there. I think Gerald had just came out with a new single called "I Surrender,"
Okay.
and that's on YouTube. Every now and then I go back. 1994, I go back and look at that. But even prior before that, I forgot one thing. The year before that, I was on the road with Shy, the group Shy from out of Howard University.
Yeah. Yeah. Shot. Right.
So
Right.
Chris Dave put the band together because initially I think he was supposed to play drums, but Mint Condition was going back out, so he got Gordon Campbell to play drums, Kevin Levi on saxophone, and
Kevin Levi. Yeah. Yeah.
Raymond Angry was on keys. And initially, the first keyboard player was Myron McKinley from out of L.A., and he was musical director for, I think it was In Vogue. So
Hmm.
the first 4 or 5 months of the tour, he was musical director, and then I think In Vogue pulled him back in. It was
Nice.
like one of those things he had to go right back, and then Shy made me musical director, and I grabbed a keyboard player from here, Leroy Taylor. We call him Scooter.
Okay.
He pulled him in, so it was a DC band. It was authentic DC band playing for Shy, and that lasted
Okay.
for about 2.5 years, something like that. I think the role was almost 3 years actually. I think the last thing we did was in '96. But
Wow.
yeah, and then you went, like I said, go back to Gerald Albright and Layla, and then from Gerald and Layla, '95, Richard Smallwood put the group Vision together. I got the call
Hmm.
from that from Richard. I did, the first
Wow.
record. Of course, everyone knows Total Praise, Angels
Yeah.
Watching Over Me, Thanking You, and the list goes on. And there's
And
just
you're on
those
all of
things.
that.
Oh yeah, yeah, I was
Yeah.
on it. And bless, once those things I tell people, a lot of times, you get called to do a project, you're not really sure if it's a one-time thing or not. But here it is, 25 years later, I'm still in the group, so I'm glad to be a part of Vision.
Wow. Man,
But
that's amazing.
just one thing leads to next, and it's really not the music industry. It's big, but it's not because a lot of
Hmm.
times you're crossing paths with so many different people, musicians and singers who are
Got
great
it.
at what they do. And a lot of times you just don't know until you hear them do something by themselves. And so I've just been blessed to make good friends, um, try to stay level-headed, and know that everything doesn't last, but enjoy the moment.
Right. Right.
And I just enjoy playing the music. It wasn't even about initially the touring and stuff like that. I think that comes along with the job. I just enjoy playing music, and I think people connect with
Right.
you because they feel you when you're playing. They
Right.
understand that you
Right.
enjoy what you're doing, and it's nothing like playing. Like I said, playing. You just said it, playing good music with people that you like.
That's right.
That plays a
That's right.
that plays a major role on the energy that's coming from you as well. But yeah,
Awesome.
it's been, and and last but not least, I mean, I love the Will Downing touring. I love Richard Smallwood, but it's nothing like playing in church. It kind of like brings me back to my roots. I'm a member at
Right.
Greater Mount Calvary
Oh,
in,
cool.
in
Cool. Yeah.
D.C.
Yeah.
Bishop
Yeah.
Alfred Owens,
Yeah.
co-pastor Susie Owens, and I share that, and I say that because sometimes it's easy to forget that God bless you from somewhere. And I don't look at the
Right.
church as just a starting point. I think you start and end in church because you're
Right.
not gonna always be touring. You're not gonna always be
Correct.
doing records. Sometimes your job just leads you. Your passions change. Something. My big brother Stephen Ford, producer. He produced for so many people, not just Richard Smallwood, Bruce Parham, the Winans, or Donnie
Hmm.
McClurkin. The list goes on. But he shared
Right.
something with me about 15 years ago. He said eventually, your passions change.
Right.
And
Right.
it did. It started changing actually before I got married. You're not gonna always want to be touring. You're not trying to live out of a bag for the rest of your life.
Right.
Uh, but you find other things about you that you love doing, and
That's right.
though the music is the center part, but I'm bigger than just playing the bass guitar. So I
Got
find
you.
other things, whether it's helping people or even what you're doing right now, this podcast. It's just sidebar. You do a lot more than this. They don't even know about your singing career that you had before all of this. But I know about that. Yeah, I know about
The secret is no longer a secret. That's right, man. So who was your influencer as a bassist?
well, for me, And I'll explain to everybody why it was the way it was. First of all, I grew up in a very religious house, and we weren't allowed
Hmm.
to listen to secular music in the
Okay.
house. So a lot of things weren't allowed to be brought in the house. So um, I didn't know about a lot of musicians. I knew of their names, but I didn't know the full skill set of them because I wasn't allowed to sit down and
Okay.
listen to it.
Hmm.
So I paid attention more to the gospel, the piano players, the organists, because I learned more from what they were doing chord wise. That's why I kind of implemented that into what I do when I'm
Got it.
writing songs and stuff like that. I was more, to that versus just the bass player playing one or two notes at a time because I get bored easily just listening to anything that doesn't move me. So
Right.
it was till later on that I can't really say it was a bassist that really kept me going, other than the local guys. And my god brother in Pennsylvania, he played. Joe Tyson played, um,
Hmm.
and I learned more or less from the local guys, people you wouldn't know. So it wasn't
Okay.
the big names. Now, of course, everybody loves Stanley Clark, because Stanley Clark was that guy back then. But I didn't hear Marcus Miller till about, I want to say, close to mid '80s. And a buddy of mine,
Okay.
Bill Meekins from out of York, Pennsylvania, he had brought the CD. We were up at the park. He brought a cassette, actually. I'm really telling myself. He brought a cassette, had a Walkman. He said, "Yo, man, check this Marcus Miller guy out." I said, "Okay, let me check out." I said,
Right.
"So, I'm saying, I'm a kid, so I'm asking the stupid question. So, does he sound like Stanley Clark? Who does he sound like? Because it was just only Stanley Clark in my world back then, and
Right.
and Jocko, but Jocko had
Hmm.
passed,
Hmm.
uh, and Marcus was that production cat, man. The stuff was. I think when you listen to him, you got to pay attention to everything, not just the bass, because he's involved. He can play
Right.
more than one instrument, so that
Hmm.
also helped broaden my mind in listening to how I listen to songs, how I play songs. So it wasn't
Right.
just listen to a bass player to learn the licks and the chops. Is really listen to the production of how they got to where they got to. Because I'm always that guy asking them
Right.
that question. Hey man, what made you go to this change? What's the importance of why didn't you just stay here? Because if it's a good groove, why are you changing it? And so
Right.
I'm that guy, and I'm information. I want to know. So I think
Gotcha.
that was the reason why I follow other instrumentation. I watched the piano players that they seemed to be more involved in the production and producing,
I see.
and wondering why they were bringing, certain guys only use certain musicians, and wanted to know what that was all about. And I didn't know anything about certain guys played better together, or they
Okay.
had a better feel for a certain style of music. I just thought, if you're a good musician, you should be able to play everything, but that wasn't the
Hmm.
case, even on a professional level. So that
Right.
was why, but I
Okay.
still
As
listen
you
to
guys,
Earth, Wind, and
one
Fire.
quick
Yeah,
one, Mark. As you guys are coming in, thank you for joining us. I appreciate all the love, but make sure you guys speak to Mr. Mark Walker too, because this is about him tonight, guys. We want to elevate him. We want to make sure that you know who he is. Make sure you know his music. And before we go, we want to make sure that you have a way that you can get his music. He'll share that information before we close out tonight. So I appreciate the love, but I want you guys to give all of that love to Mark tonight. So make sure you give a good evening to him as well, folks. I appreciate that.
thank you.
Go ahead, Mark. Yep.
Oh no, so that was it. I listened to a lot of musicians.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
no one group or one
Gotcha.
band that
Gotcha.
influenced me. I listen to a lot of music. So of course you learn from
Awesome.
Earth, Wind and Fire, Commodores. Of course everybody loved the Jackson Five. Um,
Right.
and then we just the '80s for me, the '80s and the '90s were great because there
Okay.
were so many groups to listen to. It was you got the
Right.
Isley Brothers. You had something for everyone.
Right.
And
Right. Right. Do
and
you
it's just we could talk all day about about
oh yeah,
about the
yeah,
bands and groups, and
yeah.
I don't want to bore nobody.
Right, I got you. Are you able to see anybody who comment that comes up on the screen? You able to see any of that?
Not yet for some reason. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, we did get a hello from Miss Diane
Okay,
Rozier.
okay, I see that. Thank you,
Yeah,
Diane.
yeah, yeah. Quintina, she's in too. She'll probably wave hello as well.
Okay.
I know a gentleman by the name of his name is Bernard. I don't remember his last name, but he was on the Sugar Hill Gang album. Boom, boom, boom,
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
boom. He when I was a kid, he wanted to teach me how to play bass. So I would go to his apartment and he would have me lay the bass down on my lap. Is that how you learned, or you just learned it?
Oh no, I had to pick it up. There was no laying on the
Really?
lap. And I knew a few guys that played bass and guitar like that. You know, that was the thing. It was
Oh,
yeah, the Hawaiian guitar style type thing.
okay.
That was to me that was just an unusual, unorthodox way of learning. But those guys are
Right,
special.
right.
If you can learn to play like that, yeah, you're not a regular person.
Right. But that's how he started me off. But I'm looking at him. He put the strap on. He was like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, well, why ain't I be able to do that? He said, no, start on the lap. And I'm trying to
Oh,
pluck it on the lap. I'm like,
oh
no,
wow.
I think I'm gonna stick to the singing and all that kind of stuff. A gentleman by the name of Mo Gentry just came in. Does that name
Okay.
ring a bell?
Yes, it does. Oh, you know, I'm having a
Mo
look at
Gentry.
him.
He's the sound guy. He's a sound. He's like,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, Mo.
yeah.
Yeah, he just chimed in. Quintina Lee, she just said hello to you as
Thank you,
well.
thank you.
Yep, yep. Yeah. So that's for Bernard. I said no. I think I'm gonna stick to the mic. Stay on the
Okay.
microphone a little bit. You know. Um, I remember you had mentioned spur of the moment back in I would say probably 2000. It might have been before you got with them. They had a
Hmm.
bald headed guy on
Yeah, yeah.
sax. I don't remember. I don't know. Remember his name, but he was a bad
Skip
dude.
Pruitt. Skip Pruitt. Yeah, Skip Pruitt.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. All right,
yeah.
they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, no,
So
no.
you
Go
got
ahead. Go
a
ahead.
story. Okay, so they were performing. There's some fireworks going on outside. So if you guys hear that popping, that's what that is. Um, they were at Trade Winds. I think they might have torn it down now.
Okay.
Um, they were at Trade Winds, and the guy, bald headed guy, Skip, he was on sax, and I got up there and I said, okay, so what do you do? Because somebody asked them to get me up there because somebody there knew that I sang. And they went up there and talked to Kenny.
Yeah.
And well, let me hear what he sound like, because it ain't like we know his worth, and we just gonna get him up on an open stage like that. So let me see what's going on with them, right? So I cut up there. So they said, okay, what do you know, man? I said, give me one of them Will Downing tunes. He said, which one? I said, anyone. So they played I Try. Man, I was like, oh, they go back. So I'm hitting the Will Downing cut, I Try. And after I finished, your boy came up, the drummer from Pieces of a Dream came
Oh
up
wow.
to me,
Yeah.
Curtis Harmon.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, yeah.
And
Curtis
Curtis
Harmon.
said, look, Curtis, you sound just like Curtis when you told me what you told me about singing. He said,
Wow.
dude, what do you sing at? I said, man, I don't really sing anywhere. I might do karaoke or open mic somewhere. He's like, no, dude, you just can't do that, man. You need to be recording. You need to put something out there. And when you first told me that the last week, I said, man, this is Curtis all over again. So, so Curtis and I, we kept in touch. I think what happened with him, they did another CD or album, and they went on, and something with the album got them a lot of gigs, like back to back. So we didn't get a chance to really work together because I didn't know that many people that would give me that type of attention because I was kind of like a fresh face in the game at the
Yeah.
time. So I started picking up my speaking and everything like that. Learned from Les Brown and Dr. Willie Jolly, and it's like whatever that you want to do, you automatically gonna surround yourself with people
Yeah.
in that industry or in that realm that's gonna help take you along.
Yeah.
So so you were 100% right with what you told me about that. So people only one guy knows that I sing. His name is Ricardo Kingsbury. So and he put his singing like shh. Yeah. So and this is what he just said here, Mark. Is coming up.
Okay.
Um,
Remember you saying
so I
it when I
used
was
to.
uptown? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But Rick, Mark has his bass hooked up. So we're going to take a few moments. Mark, I tried to pull up some of the videos, but it was freezing out on me. So um, um, if you have a way to play it on your end, That'll be good too. But I know you have the bass hooked up too. So I want to, if you don't mind giving some little demonstration, because people hear me brag about you. My friend Quintina, she's watching. She's heard me brag about you all the time.
Oh
So,
wow, wow. Okay,
um,
I can't let nobody down there. I can't let nobody down.
yeah. So if you want to play something real quick, you can just chop it up, or you can just give us a little education on what you're playing.
Okay, I'll play a
Yeah.
little something that I get requested a lot from bass players when they've heard I did I told you a few years ago I did EPK. God is so amazing. I did a remake of Will
The
Downing's
remake.
song, but on that
Gotcha.
same EPK, I did something called "Wade in the Water," which is it's an old gospel spiritual, but I kind of funked it up a little bit. And
Okay. Cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so a lot of bass players like to hear me play certain things. I'm doing a little chording, a little slapping, a little plucking here and there. So I'll give you, like I said, I'm just gonna give you a little bit. I ain't gonna give you everything. I can't give you the bread and butter, but I'm gonna give you a little
That's
something.
right. That's right. All right. Cool, man.
Can you hear it? We good?
I can hear it pretty good. You can turn it up a little bit if you like. I don't hear no distortion, so you can go up a
We
little
good.
bit. There we go.
Just a little something, man. Just a little something.
Woo!
That's all. I ain't want to bore
Look,
y'all.
my buddy Ricardo just said, "Yes, sir."
So I
Wow.
do some remakes and add a different flavor to it. But that's just
Okay.
one of the few things I've done on some of the projects. But you check it out
Right.
on and just like anything, it's on Amazon, any iTunes, any download media. You can go and check it out and
Gotcha.
see what you like and purchase it. And if you support it, if you like it, let me
Gotcha.
know. If you don't, then that's fine.
Right. Now, what I was going to ask you, well, everybody's loving it. I'm getting the comments coming in. They love
Oh, thank you,
it.
thank you.
Diane Rozier, she loves it. Quintina loves it. Ricardo,
Oh, I
man,
appreciate it.
that's yep. So
Thank you,
guys, we
thank you.
we Mark wouldn't mind if you guys have a few questions as well. So
Yeah,
I
please,
can
please.
yeah I can pop some questions up to him. There's no big deal. um, what I wanted to ask you was how many strings do you have? Because I'm like I was trying to count the strings. I'm like, okay, I
Five
heard
strings. I
that one.
play five string bass. That's it. Just five.
Five.
Just five. Yeah.
Now what's the max on a bass? Is it
Well,
six?
I know they have a seven string. I think that's made by Conklin Bass. This is the most well known seven string bass. And then I think there's one
Okay.
that there is a eight string bass, but it's just octaves. It's like there's an
Uh,
octave string per octave, so it's not like different. But I
like
think
a
that's it.
melody or something.
Yeah, it's just octave
Okay.
for each string.
Wow.
But
I'm
I've
hearing.
seen seven, and I think a guy from Canada, I want to say from Canada, Switzerland, he had a 12 string bass. But I mean, that's not bass to me. After a while, you start getting so many strings, and it's like you kind
Gotcha.
of.
Now let's talk about something that's going to be general for everybody, no matter what they are into, whether it's music, um, dance, rap, being a speaker or author, whatever it is that they're called to do. Talk to the people about the. You don't have to go into details, but how did you overcome some adversities that you had to face?
Well, I think when you're dealing with anything, there's always this peer pressure put on you that you think you have to be this person of success, and we paint success with stuff.
Mhm.
Um, you have a big house. How many cars do you have? Who you're
Right.
associated with? Um,
Right.
and if you won any awards, are you in with the who's who? And to me, that's unfair to yourself, because a lot of us haven't even earned the right to even be where we are right now.
Right.
Sometimes I think you keep forgetting that God is really has been the one to bless you to put you where you are. If you
Right.
look at anyone who's won anything of greatness, the first thing they'll tell you is, and I think of the last person I saw say this, and I think people didn't take him seriously when he said it. I think it was LeBron James when he said, I'm just a little kid from Ohio, Akron, Ohio, and I wasn't supposed to be here." And I
Mhm.
think some of the essence of what he's saying is he come from a city that normally doesn't get the attention. No matter how talented that you may be, there's certain people who just won't get anywhere because of where they live and the
Right.
poverty and the outlook of where he's coming from or where they're coming from. They
Mhm.
just won't get the chance. So
Right.
it's not even about how talented you are, because I know a lot of talented musicians, and I'm sure everybody knows some great singers who don't have record deals, who won't
Right.
ever be on an award show, who won't ever do a record. You know what I mean? Who will
Mhm.
never be heard by the public. Doesn't mean
Right.
they're not. Doesn't mean they're not good. No, that's far from. I think the reality is there's certain people are picked to do certain things, and
Mhm.
and then you've got to be able to capitalize on the things that's been given to you. Um,
Right.
so you
Right.
don't put that pressure on yourself to believe that you actually made it. And I'm not saying, and I'm really not saying this in a negative way, but then you'll see a group of people who really feel like they are above others.
Correct.
And I think sometimes God allows you to see that so he can say, yeah, I don't want you to be like that. I don't want you to be like that
Right.
person. Because see, they really
Right.
think that the world can't survive without them. They really think that
Correct.
they've made this much of an impact on everyone, and if a fella realize that they're really an example of who not to be when you become successful,
Right.
or when you've reached a certain status. So the overcoming for me was uh, not worrying about what people say or how
Mhm.
people feel about you, because when I first started playing, and I was playing in the church, and I'll repeat
Mhm.
again, I was playing in the church, and I got some of the most negative uh, comments made to me by
Yeah.
people who just didn't understand who I was as a person, as a musician. I didn't pay attention too much to it because I know a lot of it was just insecurities from themselves. I paid
Yeah.
attention to
Yeah.
what my elders said to me at a young age. I'm 12 years old, and I have grown men laughing at me
Mm.
while I'm trying to play the bass guitar. Now they're playing the same instrument, but here it is. It's a year later, and kids. I was a kid. We surpass quickly. We
Right.
learn quickly. So as far as picking stuff up, I was picking up stuff that they just couldn't pick up. I didn't.
Correct.
I still never say to this day I was better than them. No, I'll never say
Mhm.
that. But I put so much time into it that I was picking up stuff that they couldn't pick up, and I'll just leave it there. And
Right.
so here it is. You're laughing. The kid you were laughing at, you can't laugh at anymore because you can't even
Right.
play when I'm playing. Now I'm already limited.
Right.
I'm limited. I don't read music. I know my notes. Uh, and being a kid, I just didn't know where I was musically, so there was nothing to be embarrassed about.
Right.
I'm a kid,
Right.
12, 13 years old. How good do you think I'm
Right.
supposed to be? But then I'm
Right.
meeting grown men who are on a professional level, and they're telling me, man, you're playing our songs better than we are. And
Mm.
I'm sitting there shaking my head. Well, the guys at home don't think I can play at all. But the professionals are telling
Wow.
me I'm playing their
Wow.
songs better than they are. So it's
Wow.
those are the things you overcome because your surroundings kind of how you
Yeah.
gear yourself or where you are as a person and your talent, and you can never do that. You kind of short
Right.
yourself because you're dealing with people who have their own issues. And I'm
Correct.
not. I'm still to today. I'm still not mad or angry. Actually, I think I'm grateful for it because I realize no matter what stage you are in life, people are still going through something, even with
Right.
their own personal insecurities, and
That's
um,
correct.
and it's just it's a lesson learned that we all have something to overcome.
Correct. So
And
just
I'm
like
not.
you,
Yeah.
that was like a rocket fuel to your jet engine right there.
Yeah, it, it,
People
and it
just
was,
shooting it down. Yeah, yeah,
yes, sir. And I
yeah.
mean, and then the other part of it was putting pressure on myself, thinking I had to, live up to this expectation of always being on tour,
Hmm.
always playing for folks, because I'm thinking this money that I'm making is supposed to always be like that, and that's just not
Right.
realistic. It's really not realistic. You look at an athlete, um, and I always use those scenarios. You look at the athlete; he's not going to make that same amount of money every year till the day he
Right.
dies. He has a retirement stage. He goes to a place. They go to a place where they're on the decline of their career. Now, in
Hmm.
musically, I never put it, to the same stage as an athlete as far as music, but you're not gonna always be number one. All your songs aren't gonna be number one on the radio. You're gonna do 12 songs on you do a song 12 songs on a project. All 12 aren't
Right.
gonna reach number one. You know what I mean? It's just not realistic.
Yep.
So you got to
Right.
start thinking realistically. Uh, what fits you? What makes you happy?
Right.
And it wasn't just playing music. Right now, even this
Hmm.
pandemic taught me that the one big thing I had to overcome was it's not just about music. It's
Hmm.
about your family. It's about the other things that you have in you. Whether you're
Right.
writing a book or whether you're good at teaching, you're teaching music, or just doing something
Hmm.
else, doing another career. I often
Right.
share with folks. I still want to learn how to hang drywall. Um,
Hmm.
and do certain things like that. You know what I mean? Have something else that I do other than music, because I've burnt myself out before just playing every day,
Hmm.
and I don't want to play every day. I don't want to be on
Right.
everybody's record. I don't. That's
Right.
that's just me. I can
Right.
speak for myself. I know some guys that
Right.
just live for it. They just want to play for everybody, play on everybody's project. That's not me, and
Right.
that's never really been me. You know. So I
Hmm.
mean, I think you challenge yourself to do what makes you happy, and don't feel pressured and trying to live for someone else.
I
Because
can
some people,
tell that, I can tell that you listens to spirit because, like when you just mentioned, every people want to be on everybody's record. It's not meant for you to be on everybody's record. People, prime example, some people call me and say, "Hey, I hear you're a marvelous speaker. We would like to hire you to speak at our event or speak to our audience or our company." And I send them a survey because I want to know who their audience is, what they want their audience to get out of what I'm saying, and what topic they want me to cover. Now, I can get $5,000 to speak for 90 minutes, but it's not about the money. And the reason why I say that is because they might have a topic that does not fit my repertoire. So I'm like, well, unfortunately, those aren't topics that I cover. I really appreciate you giving me the the kudos for what I do, but I know a guy who do cover those topics. So let me give you his information. You know, so just because I can speak well doesn't mean I can cover every topic well. Um, and if I was a bass listening to you, just because you are great at what you do doesn't mean that you have to go and play on everybody's stuff. You know.
no, not at all. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the other thing I really had to overcome was forgiving myself for uh, taking all the gigs and thinking I was being responsible as a father and as a man. Trying to support my family, and instead of saying no, I was
Right.
saying yes more than I was saying no, and I missed out on things. I
Right.
have some older kids that are, in their 30s now. I'm an old man now. I'm in my mid 50s, and I missed out on so much
I'm
things, so
right
many
behind
things.
you.
So I missed out on so many things, thinking I had to be responsible. So always had to be on the road. Always had to be playing. Always had to be doing something to make
Mhm.
money, and I missed out on a lot of their lives. And of course, they love me, forgive me, and all of that. But it was something
Right.
I share with other musicians now, that you have to have a balanced life.
Correct.
Don't
Correct.
don't allow the career and the people you work with take away from who you were designed to be, especially when you have children in your life, especially when you have a family, especially when you have a wife.
Mhm.
No one wants to be with you to say, hey, my husband's here on our anniversary day, or my husband's out of town doing this day, graduation, or one of the kids have an important game and you're
Yeah.
missing it because you're going to a rehearsal to do this tour overseas.
Right.
And after a while, you got to start saying no. Sometimes you got to start being the other person because you're more than just a musician. You're more than just a singer.
That's right. That's
Um,
right.
and and it is important that your family is around you. A
Hmm.
musician friend of mine, I won't put his name out there, but he shared something with me, which what made it actually made me think about something because he had to stay home. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the tour got canceled or something. And he said his family shared with him because they were doing something, and it basically, and I'll just wrap it up. And this, he said, they were like, we don't even know you. We don't know what you like. We know you, our father. We know you, the husband. But we really only really know what you like to do because you're never here.
Right.
This is the
Right.
first time that you've been here for a month or two since the baby's been born. The children don't
Mm.
know you, so it was kind of like, wow, I'm gone that much that they don't know what I like. They don't know anything about their father
Right.
other than they're a musician, they're a famous musician. And when he shared that with me and a few other musicians, it was in private conversation. It made me think. It made me think, and I was like, wow. And it came up one day where it was like heartbreaking. It's like, yeah, we don't know other than you like going to movies because I was a movie guy. We really don't know
Right.
what you like to do, and it was something serious that I had to take. I had to take the heart. It's like, wow,
Right.
um,
Right.
this is sad, And it's
Right.
like you can lose yourself, and your family love you, but they don't know who you are other than
Right.
what you are. And I remember at the time, my oldest daughter, Jasmine, she was the youngest at the time, and I called her. She's about 2 years old, and I called her
Hmm.
and I apologized because I wanted to be home for her birthday. I was supposed to want to come home before her birthday. Sent money, but this wasn't about sending money.
That's right.
She wanted to see her father, and I'll never forget when she said to me. She called me. Well, I called her, and she said, "It's okay, Daddy. I saw you on TV." And I was on the
Right.
other end of the phone, man. I was in tears. I was like, "No, I didn't see you, though, honey. I didn't see." No, it's okay, Daddy. I saw you. I saw you on TV. You were playing for this group. You playing for the group Shy. I
Wow.
was like playing for Shy. We had did
Right.
MTV Jams,
Okay.
and yeah, I was heartbreaking. I was like, I missed my
Wow.
baby's birthday, and I'm sitting in the hotel. I'm kind of feeling bad, and I shared with everybody, don't allow your career to don't lose yourself in your career. It's not that important.
Right.
It's not
God
that important.
first, family
Yeah,
second, everything else is
it
third.
falls in place. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah.
to dwell on that subject too long, but
No,
that
no,
was
no, no. That's
that
that's
was
that's
that was
good.
that was a hard
That's
thing, and
good.
and it's still
Yeah.
balancing time and life can still be my struggle, but I'm
Right.
better at it than I've been. I can say that. That's my
Right.
testimony.
Right.
I'm much better
Right.
than I was in the past because I was just literally I was at the point where I was playing with Gerald Albright, Layla Hathaway, um, Richard Smallwood. Kenny Lattimore had just came out with his project, and Kenny
Mm.
Lattimore was a hometown friend. We had been in the group together in the
Right.
early '90s, so I did his first
Okay.
tour, and he opened up for Barry White, and I'm playing for
Oh,
all these
cool.
people, and I don't see any of my family. I'm missing holidays. I'm missing
Mm.
Thanksgivings. I'm missing everything. I don't see
Right.
nobody,
Right.
and that
You
just
know
wasn't
what?
good for me.
Uh,
Yeah,
I'm glad that you mentioned that because I tell people when I'm doing my power talks and talking about entrepreneurships and family, I always tell them that kids spells love, Time.
wow, yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So, and I tell them whatever it is you need to do, you just got to make sure that you're going to migrate your family into everything that you do, especially if it's not a 9 to 5. You know, you can't take your family to your 9 to 5,
yeah,
but if it's something that you have control over that you're doing, try to find a way to migrate your family in it. You know, that was the best advice that I could give by not being a father. You
yeah,
know, because that was someone had asked me, and I told him I said I can tell you somebody who can give you a better answer, but since I'm here right now, this is the best answer I can give you. You know? So but that's yeah, I totally get it, man. Time is how kids spell love today. Um, let's move forward to my idol. Mr. Willie D. Will Downing himself. I met Will Downing at a Circuit City out on Branch Avenue. You remember that Circuit City
Yes, sir.
on
Yes,
Branch?
sir. Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yep.
He had his Christmas album. He signed my Christmas album, and that was my first time meeting. I thought when I looked at him, he looked like he was a tall guy on TV, but he's
Yeah.
not. He's about 5'9". He's about 5'9", 5'10". Because I'm 5'9". I'm like, oh, he ain't really tall. So I'm listening to him sing that baritone bass, and I'm like, man, this is big. This must be a big dude. And he signed he signed my autograph, and he spoke, man. I just asked him. I said, hey, what do how do you get guys to practice more? He said, man, sometimes you got to kick them to the curb. You got to keep moving. Yep. He told me you got to keep moving. So I got a little lesson from him that day when I spoke to him. And I'm just looking at my buddy Ricky Ricardo. Ricardo, he said, this is how you provide for your family. It's understood. Oh, okay, I got him.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But he also asked you a question that I think you already covered before he came in when he asked who influenced you in the music game. But that's when you were speaking that said you were well rounded in terms of your influences,
Yeah, and
right?
basically, Ricky, Ricardo, it was a group of people. It wasn't one.
Right,
It wasn't one group of people. As a matter of fact, I would say it was probably more local folks in my life than
mm-hmm.
the famous people.
Right,
Watching them perform, mainly in church. Uh, that was the influence, just to see all the groups and stuff and how everybody was well dressed and everybody was well polished for the events
right,
or the concerts or whatever. So yeah, and and it, especially I was in the D.C. area at the time, uh, so DC has never been short on talent. Never been short
right,
ever, ever.
right.
You can go back. Somebody could always sing. Somebody could always play. Uh, Somebody could always write. Listening
Yeah,
to some
yeah,
old stuff that from old records, and it's always good to go back and just listen to who was who back then.
yeah.
And talent, God has talent
Wow.
everywhere, and DC's never been short on it. So yeah, I
Right.
hope that answers your question. That
Yeah.
yeah, and because we all love everything. Who doesn't love Earth, Wind and Fire? Who didn't like
Exactly.
Barry White?
That's right.
Just go through. It's too many groups to name.
Right.
So
Man, this is what's funny. Now, I Try was my favorite Will song. That's what really got me into Will. But there's a number two song that's a close second of his that I've loved.
what's that?
I think he did this song around the same time he did I Try. Um, um, Whispering
Oh yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
the rain,
Free, free.
my magic potion for love, telling her I'm sincere and that there's nothing too good for her. You know I got to be free,
Yeah, I hear you.
free, free.
Yeah, I hear you, Jay.
But
I hear you, Jay.
I promised I was gonna let you hear something. So that was it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, man. Will has had an incredible career. Um,
Yeah.
One of my favorite tunes that I love to hear, period, and
Hmm.
I share this with him from time to time. I try to, sometimes you gotta like send that some little message to him, like, can we add this to the set list? Ireland, I love Ireland. The song Ireland, I
Yeah.
can listen to that song in the car all day. That's one of my. I told him that. I tell him I said that's one of my favorites. The other one, and it's not because I played on it, but because
Right.
I did play on it. But the remake he did, Superstar, the Luther Vandross song,
Oh
Superstar,
yeah.
which is
That
one
song
of
I
my
do
favorite
all the
Luther.
time.
It
Yeah.
was actually one of my favorite Luther Vandross songs. So when he
Right.
did
Right.
the remake of Superstar, and I got a chance to play on it, me and
Nice.
JJ played drums. I think Chris Big Dog Big Davis played, produced it. I think he produced it with Will. I think that's how it went. Um,
Look,
and I think
look.
Will got to actually got the same sound guy that mixed it for Luther to mix it for him.
Right.
Mix the same song. So it was that I love hearing that song. But I'm a Luther Vandross fan anyway. So
Right.
there's
Right.
nothing.
You know, it's
Nothing wrong with
embarrassing what you're reading right now. What you're reading right now is embarrassing because the young lady just said that was the first time she heard me sing.
Oh wow.
She watched me come up as a child. That she's my sister. She's my sister-in-law, Dan Rozier.
Okay.
So
Okay.
she's known me practically all my life, and she have never heard me sing. So that's how much I have not really been singing.
Now, you used
I
to
was
sing with a
like,
famous gentleman in D.C. He passed away. Singer
Nathan.
Nathan.
Nathan
Nathan.
Heathman. Yeah, me and
Yeah.
Nathan used to get down at Mr. Henry's up in Adams Morgan.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
That's an
So
incredible singer. He was incredible.
I'm
He was incredible talent.
right, exactly. It hurt my heart when he passed away. I said, no, man, not Nathan, because I was going to say I need to go back up Mr. Henry's, and somebody said, no, man, Nathan passed away. They got some other guy up there. I said, well, I'm not going up there, you know.
Well, if you were singing with Nathan, then you could sing. Because Nathan wouldn't let anybody with him who couldn't sing. That I do know.
Yeah, yeah,
We used to always say he was the other Luther. If anything ever
yeah.
happened to Luther Vandross, Nathan was the other Luther.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
yeah, he
Yeah.
could nail. And I mean, I know at one time he stopped playing, but I think I enjoyed him better when he played and sang.
Yep.
Um, and so,
He came out of Gene
I used to
Carnes
mess with
group,
him and say,
right?
"You got superstar now. You don't want to play no more. You just want to sing."
You want to sing,
But
right?
yeah, but to me, I think I don't know, it was something about him when he played and sang, he was a better singer to me. I felt it more, I
Gotcha,
should say.
gotcha,
It's
gotcha.
the weirdest thing to say, but yeah, that was my
Yeah,
take
he
on
used to work
Nathan.
me on stage, man. He used to work. He used to like, come on, sing it, and then it would come to a part where he would just pause and just leave me out there by myself, and
Well, I
then jump
understand
back
why.
in.
After that, after you just singing Will's song, man, I understand. Yeah, you had yes, sir. Jay, you went
Oh
on
man,
too.
thank you,
Come on, man,
thank you,
stop it,
man,
man.
thank you, thank you. I'm a little bit of rusty there, but I probably can shape it back up.
So, does
And so,
anybody have
ladies,
any more questions?
yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now I knew Rick was gonna come up with that. I knew he was gonna come up with that
Uh-oh.
one.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 The house is not on. Wow. Come on, Rick. This ain't no this ain't no request hour, man. We can't do request
Right,
hour. We supposed to be asking
right.
questions.
See, Rick we used to hang out. Do you remember the McDonald's down on 14th and K next to the Golden Dome back in the day?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, Rick and I used to work at the McDonald's.
Okay.
So after work, when we get off work at night, we would just walk around downtown, go down Georgetown and all this stuff. And I just be out there singing. And the next thing you know, a crowd of people would start coming. I mean, I can do Freddie Jackson. I did it all. And people would come around and just listen, right? And even the prostitutes, you remember the prostitutes that used to hang out there?
Yeah,
Even
that
they
was our
came
street. That
around
was the
and
street.
that was the street, right? They used to come around and just listen. I'm like, man, y'all better get to work. But everybody used to come around, and that's why he's laughing because he used to always hype it up that way.
Okay.
He said, hold on, y'all gotta hear my man right here, and he starts snapping his finger. Then I just started singing. So, but he's a great rapper too.
Okay.
He used to rap, yeah. So back in the day, man, that's all we did, rap, sing, and then we get on the bus, and I'm singing on the back of the bus like Tyrese. Remember Tyrese with the Coke commercial?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course. Come on now.
I did that before there was a Tyrese.
Wow.
Yeah, he and Rick can tell you, I was before there was Tyrese, it was me. I was doing that back on the back of the bus. Almost every time we on the bus, I'm back there singing, man. Yeah, he remember me always hitting houses, not a home.
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
yep, that was my go-to song at the time. Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Well,
so
that's not a song for amateurs. That's for sure.
very man, and he would just start snapping his fingers, and I would just come right in. But cherish your chair. And he was like, "Oh, there you go, there you go, there you go." Yeah, but that's a song that I love to do. I still do that song from time to time.
Okay,
Actually,
okay,
on for karaoke though.
okay.
Not on. I haven't done it on stage. I did Superstar on karaoke as well. And of course, Love Ballad, LTD's Love Ballad. I've done that. So those are the stuff I do on a karaoke level. I haven't really been in the studio, but I know that. And just to let everybody know, Mr. Mark A. Walker has challenged me. You want to tell him about the challenge?
I told you he needs to do a single. Ricardo, what do you think of that? I think it's time for him to do a single. You sang with Nathan Heathman, man, which is I don't know if everybody knows who he is or who he was, I should say. He was
Right,
probably that talented guy in the city that everybody knew of at the time, especially singing those Luther Vandross songs.
right,
You wasn't gonna get no closer to Luther
right.
than Nathan at
And
the
Nathan,
time. I mean,
yeah,
Nathan could sing, and you close your eyes and you he mimicked Luther just like that. Yeah, it was he was one of those
yeah.
rare talents,
That's right.
and
That's right.
a good brother. You know, good just a good brother. Because when I met him, um, they didn't have to invite me to. Like I said, when I would stay home. When I get off tour, I'll be home for a couple of weeks. My buddy Phil
Hmm.
French plays sax with Nathan. They did a lot of stuff together, and with can't think of her name now. The singer, having a moment. But
Hmm.
I would hang out. They'd be like, "Yo, Nathan's on this private party. He said it was cool. You come through." I would go by. And after I told you, I think I may have met you there when we
Okay.
did the thing downtown at
Right.
one of those convention centers, and I hung out
Okay.
backstage with y'all. And Nathan was killing, man. He was just a good brother.
Yeah.
That's what I love
Right.
about him. We miss people like that. And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
If you sung, if anybody who's ever, and I was really kind of even taken back that the group and the singers who did stuff with him didn't continue on because it was a great talented group of singers and musicians that he had that worked with him.
Yeah, man. He had
So
me. He had Martha. Martha sound just like Phyllis Hyman, just like her. I was like, man, how in the world did she do that? I was like, that woman. And I've seen her on television once. I said, man, she made me want to get back in it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we got some people chiming in. They are encouraging. They are agreeing with what you just said, with in terms of the challenge. So, um,
I see Cortina.
when
Cortina, yeah, your karaoke songs are more absolutely amazing, Jay. You should sing more often. Yeah.
yeah, I'll accept the challenge. I'll accept the challenge. So, so how do we? If we did this project, is it more going to be like how Will Downing did it? Do I might have to do it from Florida, record it from Florida, or are we going to have to do some traveling?
Hey man, I'm in DC, so all I know is the people in this area. I think we find people here that put it together. Um,
Right,
and right
right.
now, the way things are right now, in this pandemic, everybody's recording from home anyway. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
even talking about, I was telling you that my latest project that I'm out now with the JB Grooves,
Okay,
it was produced by Mike Upshaw. I did all my stuff here at the house. Yeah, everybody was,
okay.
Carol Cox, the saxophone player, was at his house. J.J. Wims is in Virginia. He did it at his house, and Dexter Moore, the keyboard player, he did it in Philly and at his house. So,
Wow.
and yeah, we there, because of it's a pandemic and
Yeah, yeah.
just being safe, and it's quicker and efficient that way because now you don't have to go into a studio and spend 150, $200 an hour. You do it from your
That's
house.
right.
You
From
know,
your house. Yeah, yeah. So
with
how
audio
does that
and
work?
email. Yeah. Well, a lot of stuff is you do your part, the email, then you submit
Okay.
the audio tracks through email
Gotcha.
to the sound man, whatever. They put everything together.
Okay.
Um, so the
All right.
keyboard
Cool.
player, Mike Upshaw, the producer, sent me tracks of how the song was gonna go. He sent it to everybody. He sent everybody what the song go like. Everybody played their part,
Hmm.
put it back together, put it together like a
Got
project,
it.
and it came out good.
Ricardo asked, "What do you think about the music today? New music."
Well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with it. I think what ends up happening is everybody loves their era, And
Right.
in their era, we got through stuff. Our music wasn't just something to dance to. A lot of us was dealing with stuff, and like I shared with Jay off camera, a lot of things
Mhm.
we dealt with, and music kind of got us out of it. You going through a hard depression state. Yes, I am on YouTube, Diana. You go through a hard
Mhm.
depression state, and you put on your favorite Luther song, you put on your favorite whatever song, could be anybody,
Gotcha.
um, and it got you through. We danced, we loved it, we cried, but it really got us through. So when you hear certain
Mhm.
songs, you kind of figure where you were in life and
Right.
how it got you through. And now you hear something new that you don't connect with, it doesn't have the same meaning and value, so you dismiss
Gotcha.
it. But it
Right.
doesn't mean it doesn't have any meaning and value. It doesn't have any meaning and value to you because you're not in that
Hmm.
state or in that place when you listen to the lyrics or when you're
Right.
listening to the music. It's not doing the same thing, but it's doing it for the young
Gotcha.
people. It's getting them through. So
Hmm.
this is their
This is their
their
era.
music. It gets them
Yeah.
through. I mean,
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
connect with some of the stuff. Chops here or there. It's got a good rhythm to it. Some lyrics kind of cool, but it's not
Right.
touching your soul. It's not touching where you are in life. So you don't really pay attention to it.
Right.
It's not really, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, but I love that, and it's needed because it's going to be another group of people coming up next, come up with something. If you don't like it now, you wait till the next group of people get a hold of the music.
Right.
They're going to
Right.
really miss you, but it's not that it's not good or it's not needed. It's just it's not good for you.
Hmm.
I mean, you when you go get medicine now, you don't go in the kids section to get the kids section cough medicine.
Right.
You just don't.
Right.
You get the
Right.
music that touches you. So I
Right.
think that's what we all got to remember. And I share it all the
Yeah.
time. I say it really is not, and I say it lightly, but it's really not really any bad music. It's just music you don't really care for.
Right.
It just doesn't touch you, but somebody's listening to something, listening to it. Somebody's gonna buy it.
That's right. There's a market for it
Yeah,
for
there's a
everything.
market for it. We
Yeah.
laughed at some stuff back in the day. I think was it Weird Al Yankovic or something like that
Weird.
guy.
Yep. Yep. Weird Al.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and for some folks it insulted so many artists they were insulted by it. But then you got people who were into it.
Hmm.
They were really into it, and he stayed around because people were supporting him. You
It
know
was
what I mean?
important.
He was selling projects.
Yeah. And he was, and to
He was
me, he
making
was funny.
videos, and
Yeah.
and even if it just got people to laugh,
Right.
at some of the stuff,
Hmm.
that's what it was designed to do.
That's
I'm not gonna
right.
take shots at him. And even more importantly, I shared, one of the biggest thing is, and it was something in the musician community that it really helped a lot of us to grow when Kenny G came out as a
Oh
solo
yeah.
artist. Because they forgot all the stuff that Kenny G played on with Jeff Lorber. Because
Hmm.
you got to be
Hmm.
able to play with Jeff Lorber. I
Right.
played one show. Gerald Albright had Jeff Lorber. They did a show together, and I'm telling you, my experience with him, I'll never forget. We were in Milwaukee, Wisconsin,
Yep.
and I want to say it was like 2002. Uh, Jeff Lorber is a beast. So people were talking bad about Kenny G not being able to play. It's like, nah, he just played some simple music so people can buy, that people
Yep.
understood, and he found his market. He got his fans, and let's just be honest, y'all jealous because y'all didn't sell 10 million CDs off a project.
Right.
He took his talent. He said, you know what? We're gonna commercialize this. I'm gonna play something simple that everybody can understand, that everybody's gonna like and follow me.
Hmm.
And that's what he did. And people didn't like it.
Right.
People didn't. A lot of
Right.
musicians felt like, well, he sold out and blah blah blah. Like, man, this is the music industry. Are you
Right.
just playing just to be playing?
Mm.
Are you trying to sell at least sell some projects? I mean, if we all could do
Right.
what Kenny G did, would you not do it? This
Right.
man here. And so it's the same thing now, even across the board with music. It's insulting to certain people because they don't understand the fact that a lot of it is the business side of things, and
Right.
so you're commercializing things for the people who actually buy the CDs. You're
Right.
not reaching the folks who don't buy. They're not reaching the folks who dub and copy other people's music. They're
Right.
reaching folks who actually copy. So I don't have a problem with it. Yeah,
You know what's
we
funny?
need music.
I've seen Bruno Mars get backlash from some musicians. I'm like, why? Why y'all hating on this guy? This guy just came and hit the scene running, you know?
Genius. Genius.
Yeah,
Bruno Mars is a genius. That's genius.
yeah. He just came out. Bam. I mean, I even saw him when he was a little kid. He was on some show as a little kid. And I was like, wow, this little guy's gonna be something. And he came out a few years ago with his hits, man. I'm like, he was like hits after hits. And then I started hearing, I won't mention any names, but I've been hearing some real credible musicians to me was throwing rocks at him. I'm like, no, not you, don't do that. Not you. I was like, no. But I was like,
Frustration, not understanding the industry, and
yeah,
honestly, I think you can mentally be stuck somewhere thinking your way is going to work.
right.
And I've met so many musicians like that, and it goes
Hmm.
into along with this conversation as far as what do you think of this new music. Some of this stuff isn't new. It's just
Right.
that certain people didn't think that their ideas were going to work, so they pushed it aside.
Somebody enhanced
Somebody
it.
else hears it, kind of polishes it up, and puts it out, and now you're mad because you wrote a song 20 years ago that you thought wasn't gonna go nowhere, and somebody steals your ideas
Mm,
and runs with it. I'm not saying it was
wow.
fair or that it was right, and
Right.
now they're rich off your idea, you know,
Exactly.
you know, and
Exactly.
that happens more than people can ever imagine, because
Right.
you kind of like I said in the beginning, you kind of put yourself in a position where you're trying to make yourself be something that you're not. It's like, hey, some of these simple
Right.
songs would have worked. Some of these
Yep.
simplicity melodies would have captivated the folks, and you would have been that multi platinum artist. But
Exactly. It's funny that you mentioned that. Do you know the Olympics when they have to run and pole jump?
oh yeah,
Back in the day, people used to run, put that pole in the ground, and as the pole go take them upward, they would go forward over the bar. But a lot of people was hitting the bar with their back feet, the back of their feet, or at the feet because their feet was last or what have you. And there was one guy who would do the pole jump and go up head bottom, and his feet goes over first, and everybody laughed at him. Look at this guy, man. This guy's gonna. He's looking retarded, and everything. I can't remember the guy's name, but if you
I can't
look
believe you
at
remember
the
that.
pole, yeah, if you look at the pole jump today, everybody do that pole jump feet first, just like he did it. So all he did, like you just said, all he did was took what everybody else was doing and enhanced it, and he kept winning because he was never hitting the pole.
Wow. Yeah. 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 Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's we're gonna take a couple more. We don't want to keep Mr. Walker on too long, folks. We want to let him get to his family. Ricardo just asked him, "Would you love to work with? Who would you love to work with now or in the future?"
Um, I've been asked that question a lot. There's nobody in particular, really isn't.
Right.
And I say this because I feel like I've already played with most of the best. I really do. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
from not just the name, but even the no name, because I know some musicians that I feel are better than that I know. And when I say better, I'm not saying skill wise, the wowing you. I just I mean better by they make better decisions when we're playing together. That we play better as a band. That's what I mean by better. There's a it's
Right.
a better unit. It's decisions are being made to make the music be what it's supposed to be for everyone to enjoy. To
Right.
enjoy. Um,
Right.
there really isn't. I mean, I know people used to say, I won't say their names, say all these famous people. I say, yeah, but even after you play with them, okay, they play with everybody else. So
Yeah.
what is it really doing other than you putting it down on a resume that no one's really gonna read? No, it's not gonna bring you more work. I mean, it's gotta make sense. And is it really that
Right.
fulfilling to just to play one song or record one song with that one person?
Right.
And I've had great moments. I mean, I would share this all the time. I said I had great moments where spur of the moment we were doing In Too Deep, which is the latest project by Spur of the Moment. We're doing In Too Deep, and we were cutting the song In Too Deep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, had a ball. I had a ball. One of the best sessions And I've had a lot of great sessions. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that was the best, but it was one of the best that I've had because I was playing with my brothers
Hmm.
and the music felt good. And
Right.
it's nothing like playing songs that feel good. You don't have to try to conjure up something to make it sound better, or you're looking for a certain place in the song where you can show off and do something special. We was
Hmm.
just playing a good song, In Too Deep was a part of where I was. I'm in too deep now. I can't go back, can't turn around.
Right.
I've been doing this too long, so it kind of fit where I was in life as well as playing. So that's why I don't really get caught up in, and I don't think I ever really did. I just wanted to play with capable musicians who made good decisions.
Right.
And to me, that's where the joy came. Because you're gonna always, there's gonna always be another session. It's gonna be another group of people.
Hmm.
And I mean, I'm not saying that not playing with some of the famous people I played didn't mean things. I'm not gonna say that because it was good to be there, good to experience what I assumed, and certain things that I thought were gonna happen didn't happen.
Right.
To get in the
Right.
room, like so, people say, "Well, what is it like, man? Are you excited?" And it's like I don't want to let them down and make it seem like I'm not excited, but it
Right.
wasn't what I thought it
Got it.
good. It
Got
was
it.
good, and I was glad to be there, but it
Hmm.
wasn't the mind blowing thing that everybody always thinks is going to be. But to me,
Right.
my mind blowing experiences on that professional level, with
Hmm.
especially with Will, Richard Smallwood, even when I used to play with Layla back in the day, it was the private time after the shows. It
Mm.
was the conversations and the views of everyone because
Right.
it made me realize, okay, y'all not just special singing, y'all just special in general because people don't even think like that. People don't. I'm not looking at the political view the way you looking at it. I'm not looking
Right.
at life the way you looking at it. You're looking at
Hmm.
it totally different. So this is why your normal is different from everybody else's because
Right.
you really aren't the normal person. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Hmm. That's right. Cool. Well, folks, what I'm getting ready to do is close out. I want to thank Brother Mark A. Walker for stopping through. Ricardo said, dropping jewels. Thank you, Brother Ricardo. I
Oh,
appreciate
thank
you
you, sir.
chiming
Thank you.
in.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Folks, announcement, we are still working on a reschedule for Quintina Lee. Just said thank you as well.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Um, Dr. Derek De Silva, um, we're rescheduling him because we had technical difficulties last Monday. So hopefully we'll be having him this coming Monday, and we'll be able to get him on. We're going to be talking about the immune system with Dr. Derek De Silva, boosting the immune system. He's going to give us some science, not politics. I'm going to repeat that. He's going to give us science, not politics. So we're going to talk about boosting the immune system, the things that you will be surprised at the things that will suppress your immune system. You will be surprised. And a lot of stuff I've already mentioned to you guys, but he's going to really put the stamp on it. So with that being said, I want you guys to share the video if this has been helpful to you. I know it have, because if it's going to be helpful to you, it's going to be helpful to other people that you know as well, your family and friends. You have musicians, musicians, make sure you tag them in the video so that they can get the knowledge and information that Mr. Mark A. Walker has presented us this evening. So with that being said, I want you to do me a bigger favor, and that is to sing like no one can hear you, dance like no one can see you, love like you've never been hurt, and live like it's heaven on earth. I'm Jay Hunter Lee. This is Mark A. Walker. We love you, and the world need
Thank
you.
you.
So stop that damn texting and driving.
Thank you, Jay. Go get JD
Yes,
Grooves. Thank you.
Jay. Yes, Mark. Can you share that information? Is there a website they can go to? Is it on Spotify or anything like
It's
that?
on all the media outlets.
Okay.
YouTube. I'm just sorry saying YouTube, Amazon, iTunes, all of them,
Okay.
Spotify, everyone. So JB Grooves,
JB
Mark A.
Groove.
Walker, and it's basically James Brown's groove. Carl Cox on sax, Jonathan DeBose on guitar, uh,
Okay.
JJ Wims on drums, Dexter Moore on keyboards, and Mike Upshaw is the producer.
Got it. Got it. I'm trying to type it in here so to make sure everybody got it. If anybody got it, type that in. On JB Grooves by Mark A. Walker. Look it up. Look it up. I found it on. Thank you for sharing, Ricardo. I found it on Amazon Music. So if you got Amazon Music, it's on there as well. So make sure you look it up. JB Grooves, folks. JB Grooves. Okay.
Thank you.
So that's it that we have for you guys tonight. Stay tuned for next week. Hopefully, we'll have Dr. Derek De Silva with us. So, with that being said, peace and blessings, folks, and you all have a great day.